We believe that videos, images, words, and sounds have the absolute power to inform, inspire, and entertain. We reject indecision, confusion, and vanity, for they work against the community. We are united under the virtues of safety and knowledge. We are a training community of learners and teachers who encourage and energize each other to achieve greatness. We are pilots, videographers, photographers, freelancers, business owners, enthusiasts, experts, and apprentices. We are creators. We are the Drone U.
Hey everyone, and welcome to another awesome episode of Ask Drone U. My name is Paul.
And I'm Rob, and you're listening to episode number 350. Thank you, as always, for spending a few minutes of your day with us. We really appreciate it.
Whoa, 350.
Yeah.
You know, I think that means that someone is supposed to get a free membership, Rob.
Yes, that is exactly what that means, and now we have to figure out who that person is. You already have a free membership.
Like how the intern's like, me.
Exactly. You should already. If you don't, then we'll hook you up. But no, you're absolutely right. We got to figure that out, so we'll do that. As Paul mentioned, and we've mentioned in the past, 301 through 350, everybody that asked a question that got on the air will go in a drawing. That's from the last drawing. But we'll do the same thing again. So very soon. Within the next couple episodes.
Today is also a very big day, Rob. You know, what is today?
It's June 1st.
What does that mean?
I have no idea.
Okay. Well, for the dronies out there,
please tell us.
June is the month that we're expecting to see 107 come out.
Yeah.
And it's funny because Facebook is lighting up, Twitter is lighting up right now with people saying, "Yo, are we going to see 107 today? Are we going to see a PR release?" Blah, blah, blah. And then Vic, he writes on every group now, drone group. Vic wrote, Huerta said many times that we'll see it by the end of spring. And I joked and I said, the end of spring isn't until the 21st of June. So.
Oh, is that technically the end of spring?
I think it is. It's like the summer solstice or something.
Yeah, all right.
So, which always never.
Did he say what year?
No, he didn't.
Yeah.
We're used to that one, huh?
Yeah, I don't know that there's much hope.
Yeah.
I'm not holding my breath. Y'all can hold your breath.
Well, I think a lot of people are holding their breath. A lot of people are waiting for this.
They're hopeful.
And I think a lot of people are really excited to kind of see the drone field explode. And I know a lot of people have said, oh, it's truly exploding. 10,000 people have 333 exemptions waiting in the queue. But we're learning from most of these attorneys that a lot of people who file their 323s drop off the radar and just completely give up on it. So
true.
It's really interesting. So if, one lawyer said 6 out of 7 of his clients were doing that. So if 6 out of 7 of, let's say, that was from, I think he's the number 1 or number 2 firm. If one of them says, that's the case for all their clients, and maybe they represent 30% of the market. So what does that mean? How many exemptions are really going to people who are going to use them and actually become drone businesses? I think 107 is truly going to open the floodgates. The levees are going to break, and we're going to see drones flying everywhere.
Yeah, we are, because we hear of people that are waiting.
A lot of people.
So I think that's definitely going to be the case. It's going to be interesting.
It is. But I will say last week we just got done filming the how to operate as a Section 333 operator. I know no one's really done that course or put it online, so we're really excited to get that going. We just filmed it. It'll probably be a little bit of time before it gets out, but we're excited that we got that section of that done. So
it's great content, and I think there are a lot of people that could benefit from it.
True.
So hopefully it'll be out soon.
Very true. Very true. Well, before we get to today's question, I actually wanted to mention the fact that we have got an advanced aerial training going on in California. It's a subject tracking class, so you'll be tracking vehicles, you'll be flying over the water. It's actually at a private lake with a brand new boat to fly and film. It'll really give you the opportunity to test your skills and see if you really have what it takes to be part of the best of the best.
When is that going to be?
It is June 15th.
June 15th. So a couple weeks.
It's a couple weeks away. We've got, I think, 2 or 3 spots left, and I've got to reach back out to some people who have already expressed interest. So we may not even have many seats available, if any at all, once I reach out to these people today. But I wanted to mention it to you. We can make room for one more. The thing is that I know when people have this skill and a client comes up to them, like, for example, this happened to me last week. We met the largest real estate developer in the state. And he showed me his drone video of the property they were working on.
Right.
Massive property. It was terrible. I mean, it was so bad. All I had to do to get the new client was show him my demo reel of footage that was similar so he can get an idea of what it would look like, and instantly he said yes.
Yeah.
And when you're working for people like that, you can charge a lot more money because the quality and the value is there. I think if you take this class, you're definitely going to see massive increase in your value. And also, as a part of the class, I'm going to be doing some business advice with Rob. So if you're working on your business, you need to get more sales, you need to figure out how you can gain the confidence to sell yourself more. We're going to help you out with that as a part of the course. So one day is going to be fully in person from, I think we're starting at 8 a.m. and going until 6 p.m. So it's a full day of flying. And on top of that, you're going to have some one-on-one time with me and with Rob.
Yeah, and I think one of the coolest things about this is you're going to be on a $150,000 boat. That's just, I've never been on a $150,000 boat personally. I just think that's cool.
I think it is really cool. So if you're interested in that class, just send us a short email, support@thedroneu.com. Again, that's support@thedroneu.com. And in the subject line, just say subject tracking. And like I said, we've only got a few seats left, so I recommend you write that email right now. Again, that's support@thedroneu.com.
One last thing, given the short time frame here, it's probably going to really be geared towards people that are in that part of the country, although anybody can let us know if you're interested. So did you already say where it's at?
It is in California, Northern California. The biggest major airport is SFO, but it's about a 2-hour drive from the private lake. We're going to be near the Stockton area. I don't want to give up the location because it is a private location. It is a private lake, and you will not have access to it unless you're part of the class.
Right.
So it's a very cool. It's a great place to really learn because there's not going to be anyone around.
Right.
You know, it's big, wide open. We're going to be teaching you things about flying over the water, very specific things that we don't have in any other training. And we're actually going to be filming this training. So.
Well, and frankly, I think one of the best things about this is they're going to get to see how you do it. So is somebody going to come away that day and be able to go do what you do? Probably not.
Well, with practice, I think they would.
Well, that's my point. But you're going to learn what you need to practice and how you need to go about it because of spending that day with you, and that is going to give you a leg up that you can't even comprehend at this point.
Totally true. Totally true. Anyway, guys, support@thedroneu. Let us know. Let's get to the question, Rob.
Hey guys, Evan Patton from Massachusetts here. How's it going? Love the show. Hey, quick question about my Inspire 1. Over the past month or so, I've been taking it out, and some of my footage has been really shaky and wobbly. Is that user error? Is that because of the wind? Some of the places that I've been flying have been along the coast of Mass, trying to capture some scenic wedding venues. But while I was doing that, winds were probably 35, 40 miles per hour, and my gimbal was just slamming back and forth, and it at one point actually disconnected, and it said motor gimbal overload. Is that something that can be solved with ND filters, guys, or is that just simply the weather creating some of these issues? Thanks, guys. Appreciate it.
Okay, Evan, thank you for the question. Good question. I got to tell you, one of the things that we suggest is not flying in hurricanes. No, I'm just kidding.
Or tornadoes.
Or tornadoes.
Or microbursts.
Those are
dust storms.
I gotta tell
Wall
you,
of dust in Dubai. Not a good idea.
You have got a lot of courage. I think it's awesome.
I don't think he has a confidence problem.
No, there's no confidence problem for Evan. 35. I just love. It's like, I was flying in 35, 40 mile an hour winds. And
no big deal.
Gimbal was having an issue.
So weird. How could that happen?
No, good for you, buddy. You're out there flying, and I tell you what, in 5 mile an hour wind, it's gonna be a piece of cake for you.
All right, first things first. Let's talk about maybe maximum wind. Let's talk about maximum wind for a second. What is the maximum amount of wind that we should be flying in? With your Inspire versus your Phantom versus your Solo versus Unique, it's going to be different. The bigger the bird, the more motors the bird has, normally the higher the tolerance for wind. We're running, I think, 13-inch props on the Inspire, and because our arms actuate up, we got a little bit more power, we can work with a little bit of wind.
Right.
Now, for a beginner, like Evan, I would say...
We don't know that. We are guessing that.
It's just a safe assumption.
Okay.
I'm sorry.
It's all good.
We're guessing that.
Well, he didn't say.
I just want to like beat my head against the wall.
He didn't say I'm a beginner.
Oh man. Okay. All right. Where was I with this?
You're talking about the different types of drones, and for a beginner, we're talking
Oh, yeah.
about wind.
So
and
for beginners,
maximum.
I'm not saying anyone is a beginner. I'm just saying for beginners in general.
Okay.
I think it's safe to say that they should really never fly over maybe 18, 19 miles an hour, especially. And I wrote down 20 miles an hour because normally if you got a 20 mile an hour sustained wind, you've got gusts of 25 or 30, and that's still going to be really high for a lot of people.
Right.
If you feel like you're brand new to drones and you don't want to test those waters out because a lot of things happen in the wind when you're trying to land, and especially if you're not landing the proper way, which I'm so surprised whenever I do one-on-one trainings, that's one thing I have to teach people over and over and over. I'm like, you're landing all wrong. Like you're going to have a tip over, you're going to have a problem, you're going to hit someone, maybe a toddler's eye. I'm not trying to joke. That really did happen to someone in California, not one of our members or students, but it did happen. So for that type of group of people, I would say 15 miles an hour is your maximum, because if you are having troubles with orientation control, if you can't fly full FPV, if you can't fly in attitude mode, you shouldn't be flying, because when it's windy conditions, you really need to fly in attitude mode. The thing is that when you are trying to stay in the air with the Inspire at those type of winds, the flight controller can't react fast enough to really keep you, stable and level. I would say, fly in attitude mode. For intermediate guys, I think, and myself, 30 miles an hour is kind of the top end. After 25 even, you're not going to get great footage, period.
Really, at that point, you're just putting yourself at risk. You're putting your bird at risk.
Yeah.
There's not a lot to gain at that point.
No, there's not. And I know some insurance companies have limitations on like what you're allowed to fly windy conditions. But for me, at over 25, you're just not going to get anything quality. Like if I've got a client, or this is for like a public COA or something.
Sure.
Yeah. Gosh, you have to be careful. You also want to make sure you can provide the quality. Sorry, I lost my train of thought there. But it's very true. You want to make sure that you can deliver what you want to deliver, because if you fly it and it's super windy and then you have to go back anyway, aren't you just wasting time? Yeah. Aren't you just minimizing your margin there? I mean, that's kind of what you have to think about.
Yeah, and it sounds like maybe even Evan was just experimenting. I don't know, just seeing what he could do in a higher wind, but
it sounds like
clearly,
Evan needs the don't crash course.
That could be. But obviously, the gimbal is not going to perform anywhere near what it's designed to do at those winds. So
no,
that's not a surprise at all that he was dealing with what he was dealing with.
Not at all. No,
and there's not really anything he can do about that except fly in lower winds.
And ND filters probably aren't going to help. But in our advanced videography class, we talk about flying in ATTI mode and winds and how to do that. But I recommend that to you, Evan. Anyway, I think that people need to be careful about the wind limitations that they're flying in. I don't even know what to say. Like I'm literally kind of stuck here, because I want to say that come on, like if you're flying in how fast the winds, 35 miles an hour, like that's not good. But you don't know what you don't know. We got to give him the benefit of the doubt.
Absolutely.
So anyway,
Definitely.
If you have a question, go to AskDroneU.com, upload your question there. We would love to hear it. We really want some business questions. So if you're working on getting started with your business, if you're working on maybe getting your business in order, how to get clients, how to file an LLC. I was listening to a podcast this weekend. This girl is like, I don't even know what an LLC is. And she's like putting out to the world on her podcast that, she's working through this process. We can tell you how to do it right the first time and not play guessing games. So that's kind of Rob's thing here. That's why he's on the podcast. And yet no one asked him the business questions.
That's right.
We've done
way too many LLCs.
Yeah. AskDroneU.com. That's going to do it for us today. My name is Paul.
I'm Rob.
And thanks to our sponsors. GPC, they've always been nice to us. And Polar Pro has always been nice to us. And so has DJI. So thank you guys so much. That's going to do it for us today. We'll talk to you again tomorrow.
We believe that videos, images, words, and sounds have the absolute power to inform, inspire, and entertain. We reject indecision, confusion, and vanity, for they work against the community. We are united under the virtues of safety and knowledge. We are a training community of learners and teachers who encourage and energize each other to achieve greatness. We are pilots, videographers, photographers, freelancers, business owners, enthusiasts, experts, and apprentices. We are creators. We are the Drone Youth.